I think it's a very, very low-hanging fruit to go with the argument of like linking kick to gambling because a lot of people are doing it, right? And it makes a lot of sense because guys, it's some of the management and some of the people from Stake. So
that's their entire funding.
I gotta watch this. I have 2 hours before I go out.
Are you for inhumane conditions for working and
Pokemon
no union and all of that? Are you for that? Is that where your morals land?
I get it, dude. But proximity to those kinds of things matters a little bit. Is Amazon perfect? No. But what is this whataboutism?
Huh?
And listen, that's your take, right? You're saying for you, maybe Gamba a little bit bad, Amazon a little bit bad, so you're comfortable doing all these things, right? For me personally, I've taken such a strong stance against what Stake does. For me to take money that comes literally directly from crypto gambling would be so silly.
Oh, here's the update. Pokey said, I would never go to a Stake because I would be a gigantic hypocrite and go against my values for going to a company funded by a crypto gambling, unregulated crypto gambling company, Stake.
It's big and Twitch is on trying to ban these ones. And it seems like we're always moving the goalposts somewhere else when the arguments kinda lose traction. I think that's what this has been about pretty much. That has been the only problem.
I've seen a lot of people say like, moving the goalpost. My whole point with what I said is just saying that the goalpost has remained the same for me. I personally don't want to be affiliated with crypto gambling. I'm not for it. Do I love gambling in general? No, but I don't want that issue to become worse. That's it. So actually,
XQC sounds like a debate bro lately. Yeah, but it's really funny because he doesn't know what he's saying. Like the words he uses don't make sense.
Has changed. Then all of a sudden I'm like, well, kick isn't Stake in and of itself, so it's okay. That would be the goalpost changing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that in and of itself, for your thing, kind of makes sense. I don't think that's what the goalpost was at. But okay, listen. I think the main
Juicy here, and I watch a good bit of his streams. For the past 4 streams on Kick, whenever he's about to end, Train joins in on Discord and waits for the stream to end to feed him more dog shit. He's getting
I think you're making conclusions that are a bit too quick, right?
Because please tell me, what are these conclusions? How are they wrong?
Okay.
Like, I'm more than happy to know.
So, you know something called like a roadmap? There's a roadmap and there's a game that really makes updates. Like they have a content roadmap. You know what that means?
Yes, they're plans as a company.
A roadmap.
I know what a roadmap is.
Right.
I've co-founded 2 companies on this.
Okay, so the roadmap for the website and the roadmap that I was in talks with, right? Mm-hmm. At first I was kind of like in the same idea as yours, right? And I started understanding that is not the goal and not the plan, and that is not the direction that they're going, and probably never will.
So I think what you're trying to say is that they are not looking to continuously profit off of crypto gambling. They want to create other revenue streams. They want more of their revenue to
that's why they went into the biggest loss leader industry of all time.
Stake always will. I'm sure Stake will, right? I'm sure that website will not. Stake will not become some charity thing. No, that will always remain gambling. But what I'm saying is that
what are we arguing?
Huh? Because Stake isn't Kick. You understand what I'm saying? Is that Kick is Kick. This is like, it's a project. It's a thing that they're doing.
If Stake wasn't Kick, why is Stake funding them in their entirety?
Wait.
Are they different things? Yeah, but you can't just ignore the link between them.
Kick is Stake's marketing brand.
Let's say
anyone that says that it's something separate
I win lottery.
Is delusional.
All the gamblers, they buy lottery tickets. I win the whole thing. I win $1 billion. I put half it, 500 mil, into making a competitor website. Are my endeavors clouded by Gamba? Are my things delegitimized by it? Is there budget for?
Stake did not hit the lottery. I don't think that's a fair analogy whatsoever. Stake made the lottery.
Okay, but at that point, if somebody uses the fund that they have, right, a portion of it, to make it a project that is on its own, it's a standalone project, to be a competitor of Twitch. Why?
You can't compare one person hitting the lottery to to a company that owns a crypto gambling website.
Okay.
That's just not a fair analogy.
So since you're all about the numbers, I'm sure you know how much money the people actually made off that website, right? I think
I don't. How would I know?
$3 billion.
Do you know?
2.6 billion.
It's clearly over 100 million.
It's pretty public. Yeah, they have a lot of money, and you understand that the project is not a crazy amount in comparison, right? The whole thing is not. It's not a lot in comparison. It's like a fun project, right? And
I love seeing XQC's chat. They're so fucking. They're usually so dumb. Like the ones that spam. At the top,
right?
But now they're saying cooked by Pokemon.
That's it. They want to make.
For them, that's great.
Okay. And when the product is standalone from Gamba and nothing is linked directly to it in whatever fucking capacity you want that you want to make, and the people that are signed, nobody does Gamba, everybody signs to just make content and be about live stream, then what the fuck is the problem?
I'm not trying to tell you objectively or not if kick is a problem, okay? I'm just saying personally, the position that I hold in this industry, the things that I've stood for and against in the past, I personally would not make that change due to where the money that is funding kick and all of the streamers that it signs exclusively comes from. I am not okay with that root source and the proximity to it. That's it. And if someone else wants to make a different decision, or the website becomes good and people enjoy it, that's great.
Well,
I'm just speaking personally to me.
Yeah, and I get that. Except then you spoke for me, saying I'm okay with those things when...
I would ask if there's a gambling
okay
stipulation in XQC's contract or not.
That's not even why I was in
he would get very mad,
so like,
but I think that is like a good question to ask him. Straight up.
That I'm somehow like...
Do you have a gambling stipulation in your contract, or is it just simply hours?
Wait, I didn't call you morally bankrupt. I said this is where my morals and ethics stood in the past, and it would be weird for me to change my stance on them just being offered multi-million-dollar contract. I specifically said for you...
There might not be.
I mean, you did partnerships with Stake. Whatever. You've always been okay with that, right? If you...
He said no before, saying it would be a separate contract for that.
And then I was also, after learning and in talks, I've understood that I genuinely believe, and I wouldn't have signed it if this was a whole 2 Gamba operation. I don't think you understand it. I would have never signed it.
Because the thing is, all the top content categories on fucking Stake or on Kick, are still very much Gamba focused.
Entire thing, right? And I'll give you the right.
That's fun.
And I'll give you the right to say whether or not there's anything of Gamba in it.
That's kind of fun.
Be careful though. When there's NDA though, it means that you can't say shit about anything, which is kind of, you have to be careful. Because
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, of course.
I would give you the right to say that there's no Gamba at the end. That's it. If there is, if that's the truth. Otherwise, not. Sounds enough?
I mean, sure.
Okay, let's do that then.
First NDA pog.
Okay.
Regardless, do you now understand what I was saying? And how... It's not only that it was impersonal towards you, I actually separated it in a way where it's like, that does not make XQC bad because his opinion has been the same from the start.
Yeah.
Just like my opinion has been the same from the start.
Brain dead losers will look at that and go, oh, she's backtracking when she literally said that.
Right? Is that, you know, something like, oh, like, it's about my dignity and whatever about your thing. It's because when you say, oh, for me, moral ethic, for me, dignity, and then for him, blah, 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 it, by implication, it's kind of like shots fired that I don't have those things. That's just kind of how it is. Like by default, it's how you're gonna sound.
Different people have different moral systems.
It might sound that way, but that wasn't my intention. And the reason I mentioned you is so that it would make it clear that I am speaking to how it would look for me specifically.
What?
Your dignity kind of goes down when your opinion changes based on how much money someone's willing to give you. But for you, right, that should not be applicable or the case because you have stood by it the whole way through. So I don't know why you or anyone else would implicate yourself. Like the shoe doesn't fit, right? It shouldn't fit.
Okay, inherently, that does make sense. I think just the way you word it kind of implies it by default. So like it kind of does make sense. It's
No,
just,
yeah,
it's
honestly,
just like the
I
dignity
thought
part.
that the way I worded it might implicate that too, which is why I tried to call out you as an example where it makes sense for you, but it wouldn't make sense for me.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Especially the dignity part though. I feel like
Also, I think your viewers are whispering my subs and harassing them. If
yeah, chat, don't do that. Don't do
maybe that
shit.
could not happen, that would be nice. Like, let's be for real. Also, me and X, we're friendly enough that we can just hop on a call. It's gonna be okay, okay? We can all relax a little bit.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it did sound.
What the fuck?
And also, X, I'm sure throughout your career,
My
there's been a
mouse
lot of
is,
people
like,
who maybe like
fucking
say
up
one
again.
thing to you and then say some shit on stream. Like, you know, I've been there, done that. I don't want to be one of those people. So if it ever seems that way, let's just talk it out.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is
no,
the
no,
clip he's
I mean, that
molding
doesn't make
about?
sense. Okay, so the only problem is that it's always by implication, and something that Hasan does a lot.
No, and it's not
Wait,
because I
what?
got like 10 million
couple days,
dollars. It's just
It's
because
always by implication.
I am not Hasan.
I know. Well, it does sound like that to people, and then people build
me-
this. Because
Yeah.
okay,
What
let me tell you.
Why you say
because
fuck me for?
Everything I do in life is
Again?
all in, right? And I know for a fact that at our points in I guess wealth or money, you understand that if there's not something that makes you feel fulfilled, no matter how much money you have, you're gonna be fucking miserable, right? And it's why it took so many months for me to consider this deal initially, because I had to believe in the project. I had to believe that it was something that could be doable.
That's wild.
How am I?
It's got to be in the contract.
Making it successful.
Boys,
and
it's
making it
got to be a
competitive, and
contractual
actually went on top.
stipulation at this
That was
point.
like
I'm saying
super,
it.
like how would you call that? Like, holy fucking. Even if the stream part
It's gotta be
ends up not being
contracted.
too crazy, what about it? I don't think it matters that much because I want to make decisions and do cool shit that's like, you know, it's like almost like a passion project. And the passion itself that I have in the project is enough self-fulfillment, right? That money can't buy. Right? And that's something that on Twitch I haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, dude, you don't have to justify your decision to me or anyone else.
Well, I'm just telling you.
I feel like you feel the need to, and I'm sure there are a lot of people attacking you over it right now.
Dude, why is my mouse so...
Oh, no, it's okay.
I'm not one of them.
No, I mean,
I was saying, you know, maybe if Hasan takes the kick deal, that might be a little weird.
Nah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. I already asked him when I was visiting a house, asking if he wanted to, and he said he wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm talking about me, my stance. That's it.
Oh, I mean, you're locked the fuck in. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know you're kind of probably good for knowing that what like another.
I fucking hate wireless mouses. It's
like 8
so
months.
annoying.
I mean, it is what it is. Listen, it's just what it is.
XQC
Even if you wanted to swap, you
online
wouldn't be able to, right?
Well, as you said, contracts end. So also tell me if you agree or disagree. For
Yeah.
people being like, oh, you're just upset that X got the deal and not you. Wouldn't it make more sense if I wanted a deal to not be talking the way that I am?
Hi.
Because as you said, you know, maybe my contract's up in like 6 months. Shouldn't I be sucking up to kick if I want a deal?
Oh, you don't have to explain it to me. You don't have to say that to me. You have to justify it to me. Same mentality here applies, but at the same time, it's like if you're locked in, I mean, you're locked in, right? Like, I don't know how long your agreement is.
Not forever, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I know. Because I know for a fact. I mean, listen.
I don't think
this isn't
Pokemon's
like
being
a public secret, like,
condescending,
everybody
but I
knows
can
it's
see
like,
why someone might take it that way if they're
deals
feeling
are
defensive.
Scarce and
Scarce.
Amazon tries to, you know, like Amazon's been trying to get like money on their investments without it being like a money sink. So it's been like harder on that end.
Yeah.
And
There aren't that many good
Dude, it's so
deals.
slow.
Yeah,
My
like
there
mouse
were
is so
before.
fucking slow.
yeah, the deals are pretty much gone. But
So I promise you, if this was about money, I would be acting very differently.
Yeah. It's why even at the time, I don't like talking shit that much about people trying to make
No, it's
people
like
try to do other things.
there's like an input lag.
At the end of the day, you want things to be better, right? Like people want things to be better, and everybody knows that, and you should know. You know 100% that at the high tier of streaming or whatever,
It's not
you
the DPI.
you start to understand that complacency is trash, and then there's no innovation. People get lazy. People get whatever, and after that, it's like things don't get better. And that applies for massive platforms also. Like
honestly, like you are not special, even if you're at the top.
yeah, exactly. That's just kind of how it is. So then, yeah. So that was the main point. And yeah, Hasan's been talking shit too. Okay.
How so? Yo, should we add him to this call?
Try him to the call.
He
Yeah.
messaged me, so
That motherfucker is
have a little fun.
snaking out, man. Deadass.
Let's talk about it. Hey.
Why are you motherfuckers? How am I catching strays in this conversation?
Well, basically, Hasan, we're kind of done talking about me being a snake, so I think it's time we talk about you being a snake. Take it away,
Okay.
X.
Well, I wanted to talk to Felix yesterday, but I had to go get my ears cleaned.
Oh yeah, are you okay? What's going on?
I was deaf for like 24 hours, but that's different. I'm in Japan right now, and it's too early to go outside before everybody tells me fucking, go outside and touch grass. I will be doing that later in my IRL portion. But yeah, XQC, you said I was dog whistling. I don't even know how I would be dog whistling. There's some questions I have for you about what you said yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
No, ask away, Brett.
All right, what's going on?
Well, ask away. You said you asked a question. Ask away.
Oh, you said I was dog whistling. I don't even know exactly what you said I was dog whistling on, but I would like to understand what you were talking about with that.
It's just it's kind of like what Boki did. Which she kind of explained it, but it's like implicating and making the conclusions that one thing is linked to the other, right? As you go to dialogue, and like it's like the whole Gamba angle. Oh, people understand that if I say it, it fulfills their thoughts about the gambling angle without debunking it or talking about it or having to fucking talk about it at all. It's just the people that know about it know, and you're just kind of fulfilling that, and you kind of know what you're doing. So it's like it is what it is. You get it?
I don't know if that would be dog whistling. I think you're just saying that like I'm bringing up gambling when it's irrelevant to kick. Is that what you're trying to say? Because I'm explicitly like dog whistling would be, I don't know, like hiding my genuine perspective on a certain thing, which is that like gambling is bad, right? Or unregulated, especially unregulated crypto gambling is bad.
I used the wrong term.
Yeah, I think so too.
What?
I think you used the wrong word because that wouldn't be dog whistling.
Maybe he was trying to say you were trying to
Shit, did I miss
pander?
Unlucky.
Yeah, it's just the word.
Pandering,
I don't know what word
maybe?
he was trying to. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it's dog whistle. Dog whistle is.
But I don't
kind of
even
like
know what it
when
would
you
be. I don't even know what I
say
would
something that
pandering
only a
about.
certain group of people will understand. So, X, do you want to maybe clarify what you were trying to say?
Yeah.
Virtue signaling?
Yes, maybe that one.
Not
Virtue signaling. High roading?
Not that one.
Maybe high roading?
But I'll
Not this turning into a vocab lesson.
I'll clarify. I feel like this whole like link to Gamba thing. I think it's like we talked about it like a million times, and you guys keep like it's almost like you kind of like validate the argument without really approaching it or talking about it, right? And it's like everybody just takes it for what it is, and you just kind of like I don't know. And then you talk about it. I mean, Info did it today, where you just talk about it, and it's like I don't know. You never really actually talk about the gambling angle of it. Yeah.
What do you mean by the gamble angle? Like, are you talking about Stake being the like main party for Kick? Like, Kick is owned by Stake. The reason why Kick was created was because Stake. Like, here's what I believe. Okay, and I've been very open about this. I believe that Stake, the unregulated crypto gambling website, created Kick as an alternative platform so that they could have a like basic marketing arm. You know what I mean? That they could still.
1000% agree. I think they saw the massive
I genuinely believe that. I don't think they got in the game.
And they're like, oh, this is valuable real estate for us to have for marketing purposes.
Yeah, I don't think they really built it because they genuinely were like, I care a lot about the streaming space and I want to, get involved in the streaming space. I'm a big fan of streamers. I think their goal very openly is to funnel traffic into Stake.
Maybe not so directly, and I think that's probably the defense X is going to use. But
no. I mean, I don't have to use any defense because you have the burden of proof is on you, right? You have to elaborate on what kind of proof you have that's what they want.
Just general business deduction.
Sure, go ahead.
This is still technically speculation, obviously. So you're right to say that, but. When I look at Stake and I see the top category being like predominantly owned by slots gamblers who are gambling on Stake, when I see that the website was created by the owners of Stake, when I see that like some of the largest content creators outside of like Aiden and yourself and Bruce that they've recently picked up are oftentimes like the most consistently sizable audiences are often going to be roulette, like gambling players, right? So that's one reason. That's not the main reason. The main reason still obviously is that it's owned by Stake, by the owners of Stake. It was created with consultation from Trainwrecks, who was a major slots player on Twitch. And it was basically created after.
Against that?
Wrong. Yeah, Train. Listen, I love Train. Okay, no disrespect to Train. Train's involvement is extremely minimal. Okay.
Well, I think at this point, but during its creation, Train was like its main spokesperson. I think that's hard to refute.
That's irrelevant. Whoever actually a spokesperson, he wasn't
relevant at all.
He wasn't appointed as, and in terms of the whole site as a whole and how big he is, he's eclipsed in both equity, influence, size. Just because it's
he has equity.
Just because his clips go on LSF about it doesn't mean he owns websites. I think you guys are overplaying his involvement by a long shot because it makes sense.
I think Hasan was just referring to his early involvement, which was
and I was talking about his consultation. I don't even think he's I didn't say he's a co-owner. I didn't even know he had equity until you just said it. I just said Train's consultation and development of the platform.
Apparently his Twitch bio says co-owner of Kick, so.
Yeah. So that means by default that
and Trainwreck has tweeted about how he's the third largest owner of Kick. I promise we will never touch your sub revenue.
Okay. And do you know what are the size by comparison? Third could mean anything. And you know that, right?
Okay, we're getting lost in the semantics. We're getting lost in the semantics of the conversation.
Well, no,
we're getting lost in the semantics of the conversation. I didn't even know that Train was again like a part owner, let alone the third owner. Right? I don't care about the size. Even as a consultant, hiring Train specifically especially after crypto gambling was banned on Twitch. Makes it seem like the timing is relatively odd. It's a little suspicious to launch this initiative so publicly immediately after crypto gambling was eviscerated on Twitch. It seemed like they were looking for a new avenue where they could just continue live streaming and get an ROI that way by utilizing like a live streaming platform, whether it's their own or whether it's another big website that they could be streaming easily on so that they could keep driving traffic to Stake. This is my speculation, given the fact that it's mostly owned by Stake. And live streaming is not necessarily a profitable venture to get into. It's a loss leader for Amazon, and Amazon is a fucking major company, right? Their goal is to basically capture the entire market and then start figuring out, once they have monopolized the live streaming space, start figuring out how to fill the inventory and start making it more profitable. This is Amazon's goal. A separate goal also is to beef up their IVS structure, which is when they go to websites like Kick, or when they go to Stake, and Stake says, hey, we want a white label live streaming website, and Amazon sells them that product, which I believe Twitch gets, I don't know the back end of that, but I believe Twitch might even get a percentage of that as well. So
that's crazy. I hope you get clipped and you're up on Dexerto and people are shitting on you for that take.
Well, okay. First of all, Pokey, I think that if there's one person who gets shit on fucking Dexerto all day, every day, I'm getting cooked nonstop. That's not even. I do know that you do get shit on unjustifiably on a lot of stuff, but trust me, I'm getting clapped up all the time on that.
From what I've been told by many Twitter users, you know, there's no relationship or benefit to Twitch for the fact that, you know, Kick is using Amazon services.
Well, I think it's kind of irrelevant. I think that's kind of like flexing daddy's money, but yeah, that was my argument on that.
Oh, that's actually a good take. So that was an interesting one, at least. You said it's like flexing daddy's money. I don't really understand that, because like I probably have shit on Amazon, the parent company of Twitch, more than you have. I mean, we've had fucking conversations where I've shit on Amazon. I am the single largest human donator to the Amazon Labor Union, which Jeff Bezos is openly antagonistic towards. I'm not exactly fond of Amazon. As a matter of fact, I've mentioned that when we were talking about how like Kick is basically single-handedly kept alive by Stake, I talked about how Amazon's hands are not necessarily clean either. So I mean, I don't know why you thought that was like, you know, defending daddy's money.
Your wording is a little soft on the Amazon part. Okay, let's use actual adult words. Okay, yeah. Twitch is maintained by the inhumane practices and actual life squeezing, sweatshop-like conditions of employees. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Okay,
true.
Cool. I mean, just if you're gonna use the harsh wording for Kick, use the same harsh wording for Twitch. And
I have.
Please.
You're literally repeating something I said. Maybe you didn't hear me say it, but I have said that exact same thing.
Yeah, but just now you didn't. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah. I'm not saying that like Amazon is infallible. I've never said that. As a matter of fact, I want to fix Amazon's labor practices. It's probably never going to happen. Let's be fucking real. But I'm perfectly aware of that. Okay. I think
maybe we should
bullshit.
all donate.
I think that that's bullshit. For the record, I've heard you literally defend sweatshops against Moist Critical, so I don't know what your take is on that matter, but
sweatshops go hard.
Yeah, you and I have a difference in opinion on that, but overall, that doesn't change the reality with Kick's funding mechanism being Stake, and Stake being a marketing arm, in my opinion, Kick being a marketing arm, in my opinion, directly to funnel more active users onto stake.com.
Thank you. Like, I understand if you maybe want to compare the two, but I don't even think they're comparable. How direct streaming and supporting and, let's say, you know, working with Kick, who's entirely funded by Stake, versus streaming on Twitch, who is owned by Amazon.
I mean,
Amazon, obviously.
I mean, it's by proximity.
There's a lot of fucked up shit there too.
At least initially, you're always gonna have a close proximity. That's like fucking. That's like your family. You're always in some business like farming, and then the fucking like their kid does something around the idea of farming. When it's in close proximity, of course, like it'll be like that initially, right? But as it expands, many conclusions about where it's going and where it's gonna be, right? By ratio, and saying,
wait, how did we make conclusions about where it's going and where it's gonna be?
Wait, that's the whole base of the conversation. The argument is that it is it is made to fund gambling, and it is an effort to reignite fucking casino shit that they can remake some of the money on their platform. That is the base. You've just said that.
Wait, so you don't think
I think that's a return on their investment. Yes, that's the reason why they're investing so heavily.
I disagree in ridiculous capacity. Yeah, I disagree with that 100%.
Well, you have more insider information than we do, so I would love to hear your perspective on it. I might not agree with it, but
he might have some insider information. But X, don't you also think? Obviously, Kick wanted to sign you, so obviously they're probably going to tell you whatever you want to hear.
Wait, what? If I had the idea they want things to be about Gamba, they were talking to me about Gamba. Gamba's not my contract. I just told you. Gamba was never even in any talks of any kind.
I know, but I feel like it's a little bit disingenuous to pretend that they don't care about Gamba, or that that's not a prioritization on the streaming platform that they created because they saw how profitable gambling streams were.
That's how it felt to me in terms of I saw the roadmap and I'm building the roadmap, right? Everybody that is going to come up this month is going to be massive. This month, I'm not trying to act like oh god, it's going to be crazy. No, this month is going to be absolutely unhinged, and most of the guys that are signed have been not only been none of them Gamba, they're all anti-Gamba, right? And
yeah, but don't you think
because they're sold
the owners of Kick and Stake are probably hoping that those viewers end up also seeing the gambling categories, get curious.
So now, not only are we doing speculation, you're literally talking for the owners and you're making.
No, we are speculating, and I think this is a reasonable, educated guess to make, given how.
I'm not speaking for them or saying I heard this. I'm saying that's my theory.
So,
and I'm sure it's many people's theory.
And will you revert when things flip on the other side, or will you can do like all the time and just ignore?
No, because ultimately, even if they
flip, they're not even trying to profit off of their streamers. Where do you think the money's gonna come from?
Do you know something called tech? You know what tech is? Tech overall.
Technology.
Just the whole sector of tech. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to be patronizing you. Why are you so worried about profitability when none of this shit is profitable? None of it is.
No, because that's what we're discussing. We had the initial point that Kick is probably hoping to profit. Sorry, Stake is hoping to profit off of Kick as a marketing tool primarily for their crypto gambling website.
So you don't think that there's a chance that possibly on the roadmap, the point is to sign and clean the product up to move away from gambling to make a strong competitor. That's all that's streaming, dominate the market, and then have profitable endeavors and arouse profitability and get there somehow, right? You don't think that's a possibility? You're completely hashing that out.
That's it. You bring up a really good point.
That can be a possibility, but it doesn't change its origins or where it's at right now.
Oh, so you're going to discredit where it's going and what's about?
No. Hold on. Wait, can I just cut in here?
Two things was just why I personally wouldn't align with it.
Okay, let me just cut in here really quickly.
I can't tell the future.
Okay,
sorry, go ahead.
Felix, you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong. Are you saying that the reason why Stake is investing heavily into Kick is because they want to build up a competitive live streaming platform, not to market Stake or anything like that, but instead to become a primary force in the live streaming space on its own with no genuine interest in like driving traffic to stake.com. And they're doing it in a way where they are like unimaginably unprofitable. While simultaneously giving Amazon money, like giving Amazon direct money in the form of both AWS and IVS, which is a copy paste of Twitch. It's like Twitch reskin basically. And they're doing this because ultimately they want to take down Amazon's live streaming market share and become the main monopoly force in the live streaming space.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So Amazon owns AWS, right?
Right.
As you know. And Amazon still is having a hard time, according to Amazon at least, creating a profitable space for Twitch, despite the fact that they have already monopolized the marketplace of live streaming. Do you think that Stake, which pays Amazon to even do live web hosting, would be able to ever reasonably become the monopoly force in the live streaming space?
So when you talk like that, you make assumptions, right? One of these assumptions.
No. I'm asking you a question. This is not an assumption. I made zero assumptions here. I'm operating off of what you told me.
Yes. You're also making the assumption that there's going to be no alternative. That technology is not going to change. It's always going to remain the way that it is right now, right? That's kind of the assumption you're making, correct? That AWS is the only thing and will always remain. It's always going to be like that. You're making the assumption by default that this is set in stone and will never change. The technology is just stopped improving on that, right?
No, I'm not making that assumption at all.
I mean,
I'm simply stating that you need physical servers to be able to operate a website. Live web hosting is expensive, like really expensive. So expensive that the actual dominant force in the web service, the web hosting side of things, is having a hard time making their live streaming company, which already holds monopoly market share in the live streaming marketplace, profitable. The notion that Stake would become a competitive player while utilizing Amazon services and paying them literally a profitable amount to be able to to do this web hosting, which is part of the reason why, like, when you joined the website, it fell apart a little bit because like they didn't even have the bandwidth to do so. So they had to probably increase their bandwidth. Like they had to go back to Amazon and ask for more. Your
expertise on server capacity and initial releases and whatnot is very limited. And when you talk about this shit, it falls on deaf ears. Okay, releases and day one stuff is always bound to drive more traffic. The same way that Blizzard, an industry leader in gaming, cannot have a stable release on day one. It's just too much. And
but you can't seriously be comparing yourself live streaming on a website, which you can do on every other website perfectly fine, to Blizzard releasing a game to an entire marketplace for the first. Like Diablo launch is not comparable to you live streaming on Twitch versus live streaming on Kick. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because, yes, you're right, Activision Blizzard fucks up regularly with their services, but those services on release day are fucking, like, they have significantly more active users than you going from one website to the next. For example, here, I'll ask you a question. If you tomorrow decided to go to YouTube, let's say you got a contract at YouTube, it was a massive deal, and you moved over to YouTube and you live streamed for the first time, do you think you'd be able to effectively crash YouTube? No, right? You wouldn't be able to crash YouTube, right?
Maybe.
No, hold up, let me talk now. Your knowledge of this is so limited. Since you went anecdotally about this, actually, I want to use an example that actually happened only a couple months ago. The Squid Games event with all the YouTubers and streamers that we did on Twitch. What happened on that day? Twitch crashed, right? That's why, in comparison, these things happen, and that's the same thing. That's the same for ratio.
But now we're comparing 10 to 1,000. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Because the reason why I already understand that. I'm accounting for you going from one live streaming platform to another competent live streaming platform versus one live streaming platform that is like very clearly not ready for the rate limit.
Has there ever been a large streamer who went from one platform to another and their first stream crashed said platform?
Wait, there's been brawlers on Twitch done that crash website, yes.
There's been what?
There's been legends on Twitch that have crashed websites.
No, yes, but, I mean, right, and Hasan is saying those are at a different magnitude. So perhaps instead we compare the numbers or the event. Is it possible
to how big of a drive it is? Like this argument is not we're not winning this argument. We went from
because
the size of YouTube,
because there are websites that you can go to tomorrow and not crash them.
Wait.
You can go to Facebook, it wouldn't crash Facebook. You would probably crash Twitter because they're also not ready for the bandwidth and not ready to like do massive video live.
I don't even know what this
Kick
point
is
really
smaller.
proves or doesn't
bro,
prove. To be honest, I don't think it's worth.
Kick is smaller. What about it? Like, what? I don't know.
Yes. The reason
That's all
why I
he was
mentioned
saying.
that
They can't handle it. Yes.
the reason why I mentioned that wasn't to
bandwidth.
the reason why I mentioned that was to tell you that like Kick itself still had to go to Amazon that day and ask for more bandwidth so that they could handle one singular Twitch streamer moving onto their website with a real audience, unlike Aiden Ross, by the way, which never crashed the website, for the record.
Oh, he did. But yeah, he did. Okay. Let's dial back a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I remember he did. Okay. Kick
So
is
X,
smaller.
to your point.
No. You guys overshadowed something very important. What you're saying is that the technology won't change. No progress will be made, and there isn't a point where there's a possibility that there's an audience flip and market share change. It's significant enough.
Dude, you're the one making these assumptions. We never said that. We're talking about Kick now and where it's come from.
That's waffling. That's waffling. This is a classic waffling. You're implying something, but you're implying something. You're implying something by default, and then you back away from it once you've made the argument and you've tried it. So like, if you want to stop making these arguments and stop doing it by default, then we can do that. But otherwise, you guys are you're making an assumption by default. And when you're calling on it saying, well, I didn't imply that. What kind of argument
I can make an assumption. I can't speak for Pokey.
Kick right now, not Kick 2 years from now.
I think Pokey and I are talking about entirely different things. XQC, you are right to a certain degree if you're addressing me. I am speculating, and I do not believe that Kick is in it to destroy the market share of Twitch. And the reason why I think that is not a realistic possibility for them is because they are working with Amazon to maintain their platform. If they move away from Amazon, they have to go to Microsoft or Google. Those are the two other major players in the marketplace with respect to live web hosting. Amazon is the dominant force in AWS. With AWS, it's like basically the backbone of the entire internet. The government uses AWS. You know what I mean?
Right. So these things, are they set in stone permanently?
They're not. But I'm saying,
right? I'm building towards an argument here. Okay, fair enough. So these things aren't permanent, right? There is progress to get people over to some other to Kick a platform, and to progress to try to get a bigger market share. Do you think there's even a possibility that there is another way to do it, another service with it by the time that the audience flips, right? To make the product actually successful or not?
Make the product actually profitable?
Or successful to the point where things flip.
If Amazon, which owns AWS, can't make Twitch live streaming profitable, then a company that's coming and getting outside rates is never going to be able to make live streaming profitable unless their profit mechanism.
I think X is trying to say or make the assumption that Stake is going to replace AWS with better technology once they get large enough, and then they will detach from their relationship or need for any Amazon services. Is this likely? I don't fucking know.
No, I don't think it is.
Surely not anytime soon.
Thank you.
I don't think it's likely. As much as I know, I do have limited knowledge in this space, but at least I know a little bit to tell you that, no, I don't believe that the tremendous amount of overhead and the tremendous amount of infrastructural spending necessary to become a dominant force in live web hosting can only be done by, basically multi-billion-dollar companies that have been established in the space and have gotten government contracts for a very long period of time. I do not think that Stake has the capacity, even though they do have a relatively low overhead, and they are basically a fucking money printer because, that is the reality. They're pretty much $2.6 billion in straight profit. You know what I mean? I think they make 2.8 billion. Stake makes Stake generates a revenue, like gross revenue of $2.8 billion a year or something like that. I do think that they probably are currently basically printing money. And they do have low overhead. So they have a lot of money that they can spend for marketing initiatives to continue expanding and to continue growing Stake. But even then, I do not think that they have enough to build these servers. I'll give you an example. When Amazon first started implementing their AWS initiatives, the amount of information that they had to send to servers was so vast. Before they laid fucking cables, they would send server trucks to each individual location to upload it to their hard drives on trucks. They're like, this is an incredibly expensive operation to get started on, which is part of the reason why I would go so far as say it's an industry with a natural barrier of entry. This is an industry that is prone to monopolization.
And you just said, yeah, of course, and you just said that they print money, and you don't think that they're a possible candidate to achieve that task? If anybody can do it, it's them. And you agree with that by default. You can't back away from that argument.
No, I don't believe that it's likely nor smart.
You inherently agree with the fact that if somebody can do it, if somebody has a lot of money and could actually take on the big fight, the Titan, and that would be your candidate, and you're going to disagree with that.
I just don't think that they're going to do it because, once again, Microsoft has established live web hosting services. Microsoft did the Mixer thing while they already had the pre-existing servers, and yet they still were incapable of competing against Amazon and Twitch, and they quickly dropped it. Now, there is a big difference here. Stake doesn't have shareholders that they are accountable to. They can just do whatever the fuck they want because it's just like a couple guys that run a crypto gambling website. However, even then, it is a foolhardy endeavor, and I don't believe that they would do such a thing, especially because it would, like, they get way more out of just running Kick as a marketing arm for Stake.com.
Right. You actually think that if that was the goal, they would get money back on their investments on that front, even though the people that are signing are not gambling related and aren't going to do it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter if every single person on Kick is gambling. What matters is that it's an active website with daily active users and with like some of the top content creators openly gambling on there.
And
not every single content creator on Kick has to gamble.
They're not creating additional sources of revenue, X, because of these 95% sub splits, no ads, etc. It's pretty clear, at least currently.
Okay,
I'm talking about right now. If in 2 years they switch up completely, okay, we can talk about that then. And maybe their roadmap is, hey, we want to be a big player in the streaming space. I'm not saying that's not the case, but you can't argue that their gambling branch or wanting to generate more users for Stake and crypto gambling in general is not a massive part of how they make and need to keep making money.
Gotcha. So now it would be, the burden of proof would be on you to create a link between all the signings and all the people that are going to be on there, right? And how to link these guys with gambling, even though they're
the link is the money. The signings, where the money comes from, that's the link to gambling.
Okay. No, that is not how that works. You're working the argument backwards. I mean, you're being disingenuous. I'm saying how to make money back, because you guys saying it's a funnel for Gamba, what you just said, right? Now I said it. From that point on, it's Gamba to begin with, let's say.
But I think we've said this already. They're hoping that, honestly, just by...
so they're hoping... you speculate that they're hoping it. So what you're saying is that I'm telling you with my insider knowledge, wow, I'm giving you guys inside information, that the next, almost every signing, it's entire people that will never do Gamba. That would all be money, just lost entirely. How do you tie that to gambling? How do you tie these people to gambling? And how?
Because they don't need every single person to gamble.
They have more data than you know. They've clearly seen a correlation between just generally having more users on their website and more likely users funneling into Stake.
Yeah, Twitch in its entirety wasn't gambling, but enough people were, and that was enough for them to make money. now that they can't utilize Twitch, they decided having unfettered access, an unregulated website where they can have a shitload of live streamers on there and a shitload of daily active users on there will drive enough traffic to the gambling streamers on there and therefore to stake. And I think Pokey is right. This is still ultimately a business. They want to make money, and that's the return on their investment. The return on their investment is always going to be how many of the daily active users are they driving over to how many of the daily active users on Kick are they driving over to stake.com? Now, I want to bring something back again with respect to Microsoft. Microsoft's market cap is like $2 trillion. Microsoft's gross profit in 2023, in the same year that Stake made $2.6 billion, was $142 billion.
You're one of those guys.
Microsoft, already has pre-existing capital baked into the live web hosting services. They've already spent billions of dollars building out this infrastructure, and yet they still failed to make a profitable venture on Mixer. And the point I'm always trying to get back to is what the goals are for Stake, because you're asking me like, why is Stake doing this?
Ready? I got you, brother. Then instead of using Mixer as an argument or whatever, because they have the big, if somebody can do it, who would it be? YouTube. YouTube have all the components, the knowledge, the staff, the money, the traction, the server to make it profitable and good. And they have never been able to do it. And their market share sucks balls, right? Right? It's almost as if what matters the most is a good product, right? To make something successful.
How is Kick's product? Okay. I know you're talking about the future, but
you're right. Because
a little
we've
bit
had
all
more
the same.
changes on Kick in terms of check experience and product in the last 3 days that Amazon, Twitch had on theirs for the last 3 years. So, where's your argument now?
Yeah, but Amazon and YouTube can host you
within this space.
One at a time.
Go ahead, Hasan.
Amazon and YouTube can host you live with ease, whereas Kick is still having issues with that because they're a relatively new company. Of course, they're going to keep making changes every single day. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's like a better product. I don't genuinely believe that Kick is a better product. It might become a better product. I want it to become a better product because I want this space to be more competitive. But let's be real. I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 here. I don't think Kick is a better product than Twitch as it stands currently, especially because your juicers probably agree with that. They want to watch you. They want to be able to watch you, and they're having a hard time doing that.
We have a multi-page Google Doc. I'm hiring devs as we speak, and I'm doing talent scouting to make it really good. And that takes a bit of time. I think this idea that because something is a certain state right now, right, and it's bound to stay like that, is disingenuous and is anti-progressive. And as somebody who's preaches the left and the other side, which is a progression, I think it's very short-sighted.
What?
Progress takes time. Progress takes time.
My political beliefs are irrelevant to Kick's future prospects, I think.
It's progression. It takes time.
But do you understand the argument that I'm making? Because we're both currently speculating on Kick's future, and we're both speculating on what Stake's actual stake is in the matter, right? Pun intended. And when we're having this conversation, I'm giving you actual information as to why I think Stake's personal stake in the matter is different than what you're presenting. And the only thing you are giving back to me is, no, it's going to be a better product in the future. And it's actually going to have all the web services on their own internally, potentially, or maybe not. But, you know, it has the capacity to become a competitor to Twitch and actually eat away at their market share and maybe even become the monopoly live streaming service. And yes, of course that could happen. There could also be a meteor strike that wipes out all of Microsoft's and all of Amazon's fucking web hosting servers. But that doesn't mean that it's likely that that's going to happen. And that's not how people make decisions when it comes to business. Okay. People make decisions when it comes to business over what their return on their investment is. And right now, they're melting money. They're dumping a shitload of funds into Kick.
Says you. Says Amazon. Says you,
What?
bro.
Bro,
Says you.
95-5 split.
Says you. Says you.
Wait,
Says
Amazon is
Amazon,
very
says Twitch.
open. Amazon is very open about what their interest is. Amazon has always done the exact same thing, okay? They engage in predatory capture of the entire marketplace and they drive out competitors until they turn into a monopoly, and then they slowly massage their overhead. They make tweaks here and there. They make the product a little bit more expensive. They add additional quote unquote benefits without you realizing, until before you recognize it, you're paying more for Prime, you're paying more for delivery potentially. This is how Amazon has always worked. And Twitch is no different. They bought Twitch because they thought live streaming as a medium is going to be the next wave. There is a tremendous amount of inventory. We already have basic monopoly control, almost monopoly control over web hosting. So this incredibly expensive part of live streaming, we already handle for everybody else and for ourselves. So it makes the most sense for us to be able to monopolize the live streaming sector so that eventually we can find good ways to fill all of this inventory and make a shitload of money. Because ultimately the goal is profit.
Okay. Okay. All these business terms make a lot of sense. You are making sense. Okay. You're making sense. I think sometimes people oversimplify a lot of these concepts, right? Overcomplicate it. When at the end of the day, I believe in
the
a
business
good
sense
product
is
king,
subscribing at the top of the hour
and
to
I
avoid
don't
the
wanna be
ads.
Ego Andy. I swear, I'm trying not to. Okay, but I think they need and needed somebody like me, and now they have it. Now what? I feel like it doesn't take much to make a really good product that is inherently gives people that consume live content what they want, right? That's all it needs is a better
Do you
product.
think?
What's up? Go ahead.
From what we've seen in the streaming industry, it's not like you can make streaming that much better, and the influx of users changes so drastically. The only thing that really made it almost profitable was probably like COVID. A lot more people being home. And I don't think anything Kick can do is gonna really bring in like a new audience.
A new audience. All they gotta do is yoink.
Huh?
What? No, yoinking is not enough.
They're
because
yoinking pre-existing audience.
yoinking is not enough. If yoinking was enough, then Amazon would be, Twitch would be profitable.
Yeah.
Twitch is currently not profitable, and they have one of the most important parts of live streaming locked down: web hosting. Live web hosting is the most expensive part of Twitch's revenue generating scheme. The reason why Amazon considers Twitch to be a loss leader and not already a profitable entity is because in their internal accounting, they look at how much of the web services that they're allotting over to Twitch and how much more they could sell it to competitors at like regular market rates. So even with that, even when they're internally massaging numbers, they still consider Twitch to not be profitable, partially because of that and partially because of Twitch Prime, which is a subsidy for Twitch. Amazon Prime utilizing Twitch Prime to avoid ads at the top of the hour. But ultimately, if Amazon can't do it with the existing market share, yoinking it from Amazon while literally paying Amazon market rate, you're never going to be even remotely profitable, especially when you have no advertising initiatives, especially when you have no advertising initiatives.
I mean yoinking market share, not yoinking money.
Market share doesn't mean anything.
Yes, the market share clearly isn't enough to create a profitable product. Because streaming is expensive.
Why are you guys so set on profitability? What are you set on that?
I thought that was the point of this entire conversation. How you think
profitability was okay.
If you don't think Stake is interested in becoming a profitable corporation, why do you think, or not Stake, sorry, Stake is profitable. If you don't think Stake's interest in Kick is to make it a profitable live streaming service, then why are they around? Do you think that they have like a genuine interest in the love of the game for live streaming? Is that why? Because they want to do a non-profit, like they want to burn money.
They love
Hasan,
streaming.
How long has it taken for YouTube to be profitable? Give me a fucking number of years on that. How much?
I don't know, but I understand what you're saying. I understand the point you're trying to make.
Fuck ass load juice. Juice ton. I don't even know if it's profitable now. Is it? It's a juice ton of time, money. It's insane. I don't think they're profitable now. Are they? Are they?
YouTube.
They are not.
YouTube internally for Google is worth it. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Google has AdSense. Google's AdSense makes a fuck ton of their revenue. YouTube internally is not profitable. It can be eventually, but YouTube's sustainability comes from the company that owns YouTube taking advantage of advertisement inventory. So what you're describing with respect to Stake is not even remotely applicable. It actually makes my argument. Stake sees Kick as a good venture, even though it's not profitable, because it drives traffic to Stake. Because Stake sees it as no different than, you know, buying ad space on a Formula One car or potentially buying ad space on fucking Chelsea Football Club. They see it as a marketing initiative, and that's why they're doing it, because they want to drive traffic. Why did Stake give $100 million to Drake? It's not because Stake didn't give $100 million to Drake because they love Drake's music. They gave him $100 million because Drake gambles on Stake all the time, and he posts it on Instagram, and therefore he gets a lot of other people to go onto Stake and gamble as well.
Okay. And okay, we went crazy on this argument. Let me finish my point about YouTube. So you agree that it takes a significant amount of time for something to become profitable, if it can become profitable in this industry. It takes. So why are you guys worried about the roadmap to profitability on a 6-month-old product, comparing it to a 20-year-old product?
Well, the only reason why we're talking about it is because you said that our speculation on why Stake has dumped a fuck ton of money into Kick is wrong. And you unfortunately haven't really provided any counter examples as to why their initiative and why they're spending this much money on Kick is actually for different reasons. I'm giving you why I'm speculating this way, and I'm telling you exactly why I believe Stake is putting this much money into Kick. I described to you step by step how we got here. So I want to hear from you, other than like a hypothetical future where like they do want to capture the market share, and although it seems completely impossible to do so.
Yes, it is. And I told you, okay, that there's a part talk and there's a part action. And the part talk is I'm telling you, and I even offered Boki, if she looked at my contract under NDA, that she can verify or not. There's any gambling talks, any topic of any kind. She can even look at my logs, to be honest, with all the chats, and see there's any hint of gambling in it. And when she says no, on top of which, when I spoke to Eddie, I truly believe Eddie believes in the product, and he believes in what he's doing. Whatever it's a passion project, whatever, he actually believes in the product and where it's going, regardless of a gamba itself. He actually does. And the one proof of that is that when I'll show you the next big signings of not only just this month, the continued efforts to make
Felix,
the brand stand alone from gamba. That's all. That's
Felix,
all that matters.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is why they gave you $100 million. Like you're doing it right now.
Yeah.
This is the reason.
Like, listen, you might not directly need to gamble, but one, they know you will, and two, it's like foot traffic. People are going to be on that website.
Yeah.
There's gonna receive, passive promotion per se. And obviously this is something that they know. They didn't give you 100 million for fun. That is obviously a number
so clearly
that they calculated based off of data they already have.
So what you just told me, what you just said is you're saying it regardless what happens, any substance that I bring up, with any roadmap, logs, talks, you will never let go of the idea even when proof pops up,
brother,
delinks from Gamba, you will never legitimize and change your idea. You are bricked into place.
Brother, I have an example for you. Are you ready? And you're gonna understand my point. You're going to understand my point. You and I have been to Vegas together. We've gambled together in Vegas. We've gone to casinos. Casinos have talent. It's not like when they're hiring Britney Spears, casinos are hiring Britney Spears because she's going to personally gamble, or they're hiring Britney Spears because they think Britney Spears is going to urge others to go and gamble at the casinos. They hire Britney Spears because they want foot traffic into casinos. Stake has built Kick so that they can have foot traffic into Stake. You, in that regard, are no different than a casino hiring a famous, talented person. You are also evangelizing Kick right now, and you're technically fulfilling maybe not an openly stated part of your contract, but the main reason why they gave you $100 million. The reason why I personally believe it's a non-exclusive deal, which is great for you, by the way, I do think it's great, is because
it makes it even easier.
Because then you can move over to Twitch. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, you can move from Twitch over to Kick, and your audience will follow you as well. If you went directly to fucking Kick, you would lose a big chunk of your audience that would follow you there. And that's not a diss on you. You have a massive audience. That much is clear. I mean, you literally bricked their website. Really. But this way you can slowly but surely funnel more viewership into Kick, which will ultimately open up more foot traffic for Stake.
I don't know why that's something you would argue. We're not saying that long-term they don't have plans to do more than that, but that's clearly the logic for now, and that's how they make money for now. And they haven't yet put into action anything that shows otherwise. If they were to create a new product that seemed profitable for them, their subs don't seem profitable, they don't have ads to profit from. So this is all we can really go based off of for now.
Like you're the Britney Spears for Stake.com. That's what you're doing.
Okay, and I mean, by comparison, I mean, you guys are doing the same thing for Twitch, which has more combined viewers on all sorts of categories than Kick will probably ever have in the next coming months, if not years. So by default, you're doing even a bigger disservice.
You're saying that because Twitch has the virtual casino slot on it, that we're actually driving traffic to the virtual casinos. We don't have control over Twitch. I would love for Twitch to eradicate all matter of virtual casinos.
No. I want you to link the signings and the people that are gonna be on the website to gambling, right? In a more efficient way that I can do it with Twitch and the ones that are on the website.
We're not talking about the signings in particular. We're just talking about the infrastructure
so you're saying
or the business structure of the website currently.
Okay. When we are exclusive streamers on Twitch, we are driving traffic to Twitch. That's Twitch's goal. That's why they want us to be exclusive streamers on Twitch. That part is absolutely correct. You are not wrong on that. And certainly a part of that also is, living with the reality that is a website owned by Amazon, and Amazon is doing a fuckload of illicit shit and awful shit worldwide. I am completely aware of this. Of course, there is no other alternative that is more ethical, and that is a mental calculation that I've already engaged in, and that's why I am here, right? But as far as unplugged something.
Work it backwards. Explain to me, what can they do to legitimize the fact that it's not about Gamba? It's about a live stream product. What can they do? Because I've tried multiple ways of showing you proof and telling you that it's not what it's about. It's about a good product.
You can't show. I mean, there really is no proof until they're there.
Then how do you win? Then how do you win? Then how?
Well, all you can do is say, "Hey, we have plans to change, perhaps how Kick is profitable in the future, and we don't want to rely on gambling." And we'll be like, "Okay, maybe we won't believe you, but
I said that. Did that?
Yeah,
showed you and
but the thing is,
you won't change your mind. And
we can agree to disagree, and that's of course we won't change our mind based off of someone who's being paid $100 million, obviously to promote.
It's more than that. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, You're making the point.
It's okay to have.
You know what I would
different
believe
opinions.
if Kick banned gambling, if Kick banned
Yeah, that's the only way to prove it. And
Stake.com
obviously,
roulette
that's
streams.
not really a reasonable way to prove it.
And then people will naturally go to Twitch then because that Twitch hosts gambling. I'm looking at it right now. More viewers on it combined.
I think you're right about that. I think Twitch shouldn't do that. I suspect that they're probably like, I suspect that they are probably, and I might be totally wrong. One, Twitch is not owned by the virtual casino that you're presenting. And their primary goal, in my opinion, is not to actually drive traffic to the virtual casinos. So that's number one. Number two, I do think that they shouldn't have those as well. That's still, profoundly fucking addictive. But if they do have it, I assume it's probably not violating the terms of service that they carved out in the sense that they are probably official casinos that Twitch has, like official casinos that are regulated. Official online casinos that are regulated.
At this point, Stake's involvement is only behind the scenes, I would assume, for funding, right?
But you understand that Twitch is not being funded by a virtual casino, right?
It seems to me that there's a stronger correlation at this point between Amazon and DraftKings to Twitch than it is from Stake to Gamba. Because as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen a massive Stake link to Kick or an effort that makes them link together. Has there been?
Are you saying that Twitch getting a sponsorship from DraftKings creates a bigger financial tie? Which, by the way, is regulated. DraftKings is still unethical in my opinion, but it is at the very least it's regulated. But are you saying that is similar to Kick and Stake?
Stake is regulated in the U.S. By the way, I don't know why you're making that shit up. No, that's slander.
Making what?
Stake is regulated in the U.S.
Okay. I need to understand what you're trying to say. Are you saying to me that Stakes and Kick's relationship is identical, if not less relevant in this conversation than DraftKings and Twitch's relationship, like a sponsorship? Because it's like saying, Twitch is literally funded by the U.S. military, and that's the sole funder and sole contributor because they're running ads for Go Army.
Right. No, I'm saying
because that's not the case.
I mean, because you have to provide some sort of link, right, to make your argument make sense. Yeah, you kind of have to, right? What is strong? You have to make an argument of it.
Do you think DraftKings owns Twitch?
Wait, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. I said there's a link there. Why does it matter so much, right? If Stake is somehow backlinked because of funding, Stake and Kick together, right? Why does that matter so much? If the whole product isn't about gambling, why does it matter so much?
Let me ask you this: when you take an advertisement deal, when you take an advertisement deal from, let's say, an Activision Blizzard game. Are you solely funded by Activision Blizzard, or is that a one-off deal?
It depends. These things depend. Depends if it's like a super deal. I have to play every week. These links they vary in severity by a long shot. You can't make an argument of one sponsorship like that. You can't do that.
I think you understand what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like having a sponsorship deal with a company is, while still unethical, mind you, I do agree with you on that. If that's genuinely your concern, I agree with you. I think it's fucking bullshit that Twitch has a DraftKings sponsorship. Having said that, however, there is a difference between getting an advertisement from a one-off Activision Blizzard deal, a sponsorship, versus ownership over an entire product. Stake entirely owns Kick. Stake funds Kick.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is that because of where it came from, it must go back to it. It doesn't have any sort of ulterior motive, such as making a good product. What you're saying is that
I think it's a bit of both.
Comes from Gamba, right? And because it comes from it, next up, they cannot go to a good product. It has to be somehow, it's going to be tied back to it to refund it like that
Listen,
as gambling.
it could maybe someday go to a good product, but that doesn't mean that we ignore the fact that, you know, it is entirely funded by and currently is still funded by crypto gambling. Correct?
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what the future holds. I'm just telling you what the
I'm just thinking that is just a stretch. Sorry.
What is a stretch?
Okay, the reason why I spent pretty much an hour describing to you what financial avenues stake has in its future for Kick was because it completely eradicates the speculative argument that you're making on your side, your position, which dictates that stake wants Kick to independently be a thriving live streaming service on this ecosystem. Because I've showed you that, like, either Eddie personally has an interest in like doing live streaming and he wants it for the love of the game, like, and he doesn't care if he loses billions of dollars doing this initiative. There's no alternative reason on your side, on your argument for why stake would be funding Kick. Okay. And by the way, having said that, if I'm not mistaken, Eddie has written extensively on his own Medium about how important the live streaming ecosystem is for online gambling.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, it's cool now. So okay. Correlation, causation, whatever the fuck. You can't make assumptions on the why Kick is the way it is and where it's going based off of the things that you can't back it like that. Okay. What I'm telling you is that I want to see a mentality change. I'm saying if you have a big amount, kick by size, right? How much does Kick have to grow past Gamba for you to stop the argument that it's for that? Like, how much does the Gamba part have to shrink, right, for you to drop the argument? How much? At this point, it seems like you're never gonna give up.
Right now, it's 100%. So
100%.
It's owned entirely by a casino, and there's no interest in like making it profitable at all in the near future. I guess I don't know if the CEO doesn't agree with you on this.
In tech in the last fucking 30 years, gone.
You know what I would believe if they banned crypto gambling on their website. If they were like, no links to stake, we're not allowing any kind of.
Twitch is the better shit. Holy fuck! Twitch.
That's what I'm saying. Then I would believe it because.
Sergio! My God!
They're also not funded by
Twitch on the big gamble, nothing. Holy fuck! What are you talking about?
Twitch is not owned by stake.com. It doesn't make it any better that Twitch is still allowing crypto gambling, for the record.
On the source that you will never let it go past its source to become something different. You're so glitched on it. You're saying that funding from one source will always mean that the outcome will go back to the source in that very fucking initial thought. It's like it's stuck in a loop because you don't have a vision. I guess that's why people will fucking forget about you, because you don't fucking think. You don't think about the future. You're just stuck behind. That's why. I get it now. It's just a lack of vision.
I guess. I mean, look, I have already described to you as to why I don't believe that this is a profitable venture beyond being a marketing arm for stake. You didn't really address any of those you just said like, no, I know, trust me, bro. So I don't know.
Well, why does it anger you? Because, you know, I can understand from your perspective why you hope for it to become this amazing streaming website, right? And it's okay for you to believe in that vision, but I don't think it's crazy for us not to believe in that vision. Like, I think that's a pretty reasonable take, and we say it's reasonable because of how it's structured currently. Is that so unfair?
I'm not angry. You're disputing things on the basis of where it comes from. It's angry about fucking what?
That's all we can work with right now.
Okay. The whole trust me, bro. I've done 3 things. I told you I will let you literally look at my contract under NDA, right? I will show you guys the current signings, and the roadmap will all be explained as they trust me, bro. And you can hold me accountable for all that shit down the line, 100%. That's the best we can work with. Your speculatory behavior. It doesn't.
No, but we're saying I believe you that you don't have to gamble. I believe you that you guys are going to sign whoever, right? These two things don't necessarily prove that Stake is not trying to use Kick as just marketing for their gambling website.
I think your job in the $100 million is, one, for the New York Times article headline, two, so that people go, oh my God, Kick is such a big dog player. Three, most importantly, you drive your audience to Kick, okay? And these are all perfectly valid and perfectly reasonable reasons for why people get into exclusive or non-exclusive contracts. I get that. Those are the reasons. But most importantly, what you're doing right now, when you're describing Kick's future, I think that's part of the reason why they gave you 100 million.
Okay, sure. Then what about the Logic 10 mil that just went into fire? What about the TFU multi-dozens of $1 million deal? What about all the people that are being re-signed? What about all these signings? Did you just disappear and cease to exist because you brought up my signing? What about all these deals? What about them? What about all?
No, they all serve the same purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we all get signed for the same reason.
Which is growing Kick's equity in this space and their viewership, and they know that they make a return off of that. If you have data that shows me that there is no link between Kick general traffic and viewership and Stakes general traffic and like users on the website, then I'll believe you.
Okay, so what you're saying is that my signing is nefarious and dark, right? But every other thing on Twitch is all nice and cool.
No, it's for the same reason. It's for the same reason. We are exclusive streamers for the same reason as you are a non-exclusive streamer for Kick. Twitch wants us to be here so our audience stays here. That's it. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying that there's like some other fucking honorable purpose. No, of course. Twitch wants us to be on fucking Twitch. That's why they're giving us exclusive contracts. And the same reason for why Kick gave you a contract is so you drive traffic to Kick. It makes sense. There's no reason for that. Like this is not an attack. I don't know why you're angling this as though like we're fucking criticizing you when we're just describing something super basic.
And even if we don't like Kick, that's still not an attack on you personally.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I think it's just kind of clear. Like the behavior that you're doing. It's kind of like discredited by default. It's like you can't win battle, right? Like speculation and just saying things in the air because you know that gambling equals bad, which gets a lot of traction. You can just say that out loud and just keep parading it, right? It's a win by default, and you know for a fact. So all the arguments always go back to it, and you didn't give me a roadmap on how to get out of that, and it's not part of me to get out of that. Therefore, it's a never-winning battle because you will never change your mind, right?
No, maybe our opinion is that regardless of the roadmap or the end goal, maybe we can disagree with that.
Okay.
No matter what their 5-10-year plan is.
Well, you know what? The Earth is flat. Fuck NASA. Fuck SpaceX, and fuck you too. Fuck everybody. The Earth, it generally is flat. You can show me if you want to that it's not flat. Fuck you because I said so. That's why.
But
fuck
Felix,
you.
Felix, what you're doing right now is the argument that you just crafted is more similar to your position.
Which is the flat Earth argument. You want us to believe something just because you said so?
Well, I'm telling you specifically why Stake's interest in Kick is different in my speculation, my educated guess on the matter, okay? And you're telling me, no, trust me, bro, Stake actually will make up the hundreds of billions of dollars of infrastructural support necessary to even become a competitive player to Amazon's web hosting services. And they will fucking build all of that down the fucking line, even though they're generating $2.6 billion in revenue with very little overhead. And why will they do that? Why will they compete against Amazon? Because ultimately they have it in their hearts. They love the fucking game. They love live streaming and they want to fix it, right? And that argument, unfortunately for me, sounds very similar to what you're saying about the flat Earth, because you're just you're not giving me enough reason to believe you when I'm giving you effective counters as to why I believe my speculation is correct on this.
Makes sense. So what you're saying is that if you make money off of something, you are now locked out of doing other endeavors and have other interests.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
By default, you are literally locking Eddie everything.
I'm
you'll
not
ever
saying
do
that at all,
is-
Felix.
is
I don't know if you're
only
straw
backed
manning me or if you genuinely are not understanding my position. I never said that. I'm saying Stake could genuinely want to build a live streaming service, a standalone live streaming service, and they want to make it profitable, right? Let's say that this is true. That is your argument, right? I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to break it down piece by piece. I'm going to steel man your position, okay? If you believe truly that Stake wants Kick to be independently successful and maintain market share and actually eat away at Amazon's market share and beat out Amazon and eventually make a profitable standalone institution that is monopolizing the live streaming service, they need to dump a fuck ton of money that they currently do not have into building out servers all around the fucking world. They do not have that kind of money. They will never have that kind of overhead. No matter what happens, because they do not, like, Stake doesn't have that kind of money. Do you understand? That's why I gave you the Microsoft example, and that's why I gave you the Amazon example.
And Twitch didn't either at the time, and then they got bought out, did it not?
Yes. You're right. Twitch got bought out by Amazon because Amazon wants to have monopoly share of the live streaming sphere because they believe that it's a good investment to do that so that they can basically funnel more traffic into Amazon. They can sell more of their products. They can do possibly QVC down the line. This is huge in China. One of the largest live streamers in China has like 60 million live concurrent viewers. His name is Lipstick Man, okay? Listen, this is important.
Dude.
All this guy does is literally sell products. I think it's on Alibaba. He goes on and he sells products. He does QVC.
Money.
Amazon probably looks at that, and Amazon already has a internal live streaming software that is different than Twitch. If you go to Amazon's website, okay, you will see QVCs happening on the Amazon Live website. Amazon most likely wants to do that with Twitch.
That's money.
That's the reason. That's the real reason. The real reason why Stake wants to do that with Kick is so they can funnel audiences into Stake. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Making a better streaming platform is not how you make streaming profitable.
What happens? What happens if it becomes just a better product and starts outpacing Amazon with even less overhead costs at Twitch? Why wouldn't Amazon just say fuck it, pull the plug on Twitch and find battle Kick instead? Why not?
You're not wrong on that. I have actually brought this up as well. So I think if Amazon believes that selling AWS and IVS as a separate service to competitor live streaming platforms that want to get in the game is more profitable than running Twitch in the long run and having monopoly over the live streaming sector, they will inevitably just do that. They will just outsource it and they will make more money that way if they truly believe that that is the case. This, however, does not change the reality that Stake is still operating at a loss in that regard, but that loss is a return on investment for new eyeballs coming into Stake.com. If tomorrow Stake became, or Kick became, if Stake became the company that owns Kick, that became the monopolizing force in the live streaming service, my argument would still stand.
Shit, it makes sense, yeah. So you're going for the long haul, right? So it's like, oh yeah, they're trying to do this to ultimately do that, or ultimately sell more products, right? But then you would make the good correlation for a fact at this point. Now you have all the data to say that, oh, hey, maybe Amazon wants to do some fucking, what if couldn't it be possible that down the line this whole DraftKings thing, right, and this whole Gamba shit is made to fucking do even more sports betting, which already cripples the fucking America. It's like one of the biggest problems out there. Couldn't that be one of the ways that they deliver the product, or whatever? Is that one of their side goals? Nope. Using your own arguments.
Are you saying that Amazon is going to take on more sponsorships that are damaging? Is that what you're asking? Like down the line?
They don't see that as damaging. Why would they?
Okay. But
How's it
your
damaging?
argument there is Amazon taking on a DraftKings sponsorship is identical to being owned by DraftKings. I'm not even pro Amazon. I think it's fucking bullshit that they have a DraftKings sponsorship, by the way. I do think it's ridiculous and hypocritical that they are like, oh, no unregulated crypto casinos, but DraftKings is fine. One day after they fucking eviscerated crypto gambling on the website.
Right.
But the difference between you and I is that I do have a moral position on this. Your moral position on this on the other side of it. You don't have an issue with DraftKings, just like you don't have an issue with Stake.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck at all. I was just pointing the fact that you even pointed out that Eddie's on his Medium or whatever the fuck you said, or on his thing, that there's value in like live streaming and gamba shit, and then Twitch has banned Stake, and now they get DraftKings. Couldn't that way to be down the line? Did they want to propel that and use a live audience to do to propel sports betting? Can you make some argument? If
they probably. I would assume they probably are doing that if they're not already interested in doing that. Like television does it all the fucking time. I do agree with you. I think that is immoral. And I do not have the same level of power over Amazon, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, to be able to stop them from doing so, even though I do speak out on those matters all the fucking time. Even then, however, that's because I believe that this kind of promotion of gambling is bad. It ruins the sports. It ruins sports watching in general, and it ruins lives. Okay? Having said that, however, Amazon is not owned by DraftKings. Amazon or Twitch is not owned by DraftKings. So what you're basically saying is like, what if in a hypothetical scenario, Twitch was owned by DraftKings in the future? What would you say then?
Oh, wait.
Do you see what I mean?
No, finish sentence one more time. Finish sentence one more time. Do it again.
Like you're presenting, while we're talking about something that's going on currently, you have presented a hypothetical where maybe Stake has different interests in Kick and they just want to be a dominant force in the live streaming space for no reason other than a standalone, potentially profitable product. That's number one. You gave not really a lot of examples as to why that's the case. And then you said, what about in a hypothetical that Twitch is now owned by DraftKings somehow, and you're still working at Twitch?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I don't give a fuck about any of it. I genuinely don't care about any of it. I think it's all fine.
Okay,
yeah, I think it's all fine.
I genuinely don't understand what the argument you're trying to present here, because I don't understand what the argument you're presenting.
I'm just saying the direction of the product. There's more hints that Twitch wants it to be like that than currently Kick has. Kick hasn't done anything that is towards Gamba. Zero. Literally zero. None.
Wait, what? Say that again.
What has Kick done to link themselves back to Gamba?
What has Kick done to link themselves back to Gamba?
Yeah,
they're owned by the casino. They are functionally the same as all of the amenities inside of Vegas. When you go to a Vegas casino, they have a lot of amenities. They don't host Cirque du Soleil because they fucking love acrobatics. They do it because they have amenities to offer people to get them inside of the doors of the casino. When you run a casino, one of the primary things that the casino owners want to do is keep you on that fucking seat. You know this just as well as I do. Their goal is to first get you in through the door, and then their second goal and more important goal is to have you sit the fuck down. That's the reason why the stake.com roulette tables are flashy and they got all these fucking lights and it works with your ADHD brain, right? And the same goes for how they're trying to drive traffic into the casino. You are no different than the buffets, the pool, and Britney Spears. That's what you're doing. You are the Cirque du Soleil of stake.com.
Makes sense. So basically you're saying that you're delegitimizing all the efforts of live streaming and narrowing it back down to just simply Gamba. Then in that case,
no,
I mean,
Cirque du Soleil is not like fucking bullshit, dog. What do you mean? That's like also a massively successful franchise with people fucking toiling their entire goddamn lives. This does not devalue you at all. That is
Not
something
me.
that
Not
is
kick-
inside of your own. No, the reason why you're saying that is because you deep down inside think it's undermining you that you are
not me.
potentially a big
Undermining it.
big for steak
I don't give
because
a-
you
Bro,
have an issue with it, even though
I've had
you took the fucking deal.
Wait.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh my God. I feel bad now. Wait, you didn't get it right. I don't give a absolute hint of a rat's ass that could be the case. Imagine thinking I give a fuck. I've done full-on 10-hour gambling streams in the past, right? That means that I'm scared of that. I ain't scared of that shit. I don't give a fuck. What the fuck would I care?
But it-
What the fuck do I care? What the fuck? I love that shit.
If you're not worried about it, then there's no reason to even counter this. When I say you're an expensive, very expensive billboard for steak, why would you even have an issue with that then? If you truly have no moral problem with that, then I don't understand why you have an issue. Like, I don't know why you're so defensive over it.
Because I don't think that correlation and causation don't discredit the product's direction because of where it came from. It's short-sighted, it's stupid, and it's anti-progressive. It looks and sounds stupid. If the product becomes good because it's good, let it be. Why are you so mad where it comes from? That means that
I'm not even mad. I've openly admitted that I'm selfish, and that like I know that the funding mechanism is still technically for fucking steak to drive more traffic to steak.com. But even then, I still want it to be a successful platform so that there are more competitors in the space, which will ultimately make the live streaming space a better experience for the consumers and better for the actual streamers themselves. So on that front, you could actually own my ass and say, well, you're quite hypocritical. You want steak to be successful, and yet you want Kick to be successful, and Kick's only mechanism of success is offering steak more fucking traffic. Here, I'll make a better argument for you from your perspective. And to that, I'll say, yes, you're right.
Okay. What is this? Audience overlap for Pick and Steak. It's 2.7% since you wanted stats and proof and whatnot. Here's some actual stats. Want to see it? Shared audience of 2.7% between the both of them. You want to do that with Twitch? Or what?
Yeah, I think they want to grow it. I don't know what it is with Twitch. It might even be bigger, which is probably why Twitch banned steak, right?
Or it's the fact that they want to monopolize it, and with DraftKings coming in a day later, they want to push that as the main drive for it. And now I have evidence to back it up with and data, and it seems like you kind of fall flat on your ass on that one. No?
Wait, what? No, what do you? I don't understand. You're presenting information and then saying you owned me or something, but I haven't even. Let me see the Twitch numbers as well, but I don't even know. I don't even know what you're trying to say here.
And a day later, signed a competitor and monopolized it now. And you're not seeing any sort of link there or correlation. It seems like you don't see anything worrying there. I don't get it.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Yeah, I didn't even hear that.
They ban one of the biggest Gamba online websites, right? And the next day they sign a deal with a competitor. And you don't think that's like a little bit maybe goal driven or suspicious or anything like that? You're just gonna glaze over it?
I actually don't know what you're referring to.
I think, are you talking about DraftKings? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Like they banned Kick and then they literally signed a deal with DraftKings the next day?
Yeah.
I think those two deals are related. I think those two deals are related. When you're a website engaging in live streaming owned by fucking Amazon, you're under a lot of federal scrutiny. So right at the heels of like a massive gambling sponsorship that they were about to unfold, they probably decided to take off all of the most successful unregulated gambling, like crypto gambling casinos, off of their website, so that if the fucking federales come kicking down their goddamn door, they look a little bit more clean. That's probably part of the reason. But ultimately, DraftKings doesn't own Amazon, and it certainly doesn't own Twitch either.
Right.
Also comparing.
And so if they cared so much about that, then they would have probably banned Blaze at this point, right? Because Blaze is gonna.
I don't know what Blaze is.
It's the new guy. It's the guy that's chambered into the fucking mag.
Fucking awesome. Let's take care of that. Thank you for bringing this up in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I'm sure.
So
I hope Twitch takes action against that.
As the little dumb guy who doesn't drive anything and does nothing, I have to nudge it in the right direction. Holy fuck! Because there isn't some guy out there like me that we don't like that's doing it. I have to be the one to say it. Otherwise, holy fuck, nothing happens and it gets done. It's almost like people don't care about the actual endeavors and the problems. They care about the people doing it.
This is no different than Trainwreck's argument of if you ban one type of gambling, why don't you ban all type of gambling? My entire stream is not going to be dedicated to fucking trying to eviscerate gambling.
Prove it then. Then go ahead and dismantle my argument then. Because it seems like I just made all the points one at a time to point at something and I've gotten there. And now you're saying, oh, well, don't listen to this guy. He's schizo. He's training. And I lose the argument on the basis that.
We didn't say any of those things, dog. What the fuck are you talking about?
Differentiating.
Who are you talking to?
Unregulated crypto gambling and ways to gamble already that are legal.
Because you're saying that I am doing a train argument. That is, by definition, you are quite literally telling that I'm schizoing because I'm doing a train argument. And you know what you're doing. You're not stupid.
No, I just meant you're making the same argument as Trainwrecks. I didn't say it's schizo, dog. What the fuck?
We're saying things we're not.
I built the argument.
No, it's the same argument that Train has made. That's all I was saying.
There's
no need to take it personally.
I built the profile. I made a couple points and made a couple things. It goes somewhere, and at the end, and it ends up with Blaze being in the middle of it, right? And as soon as I say that, you say, "Yo, dude, that's like a train argument," but without even saying anything else to this.
Yeah, well, Train's argument is wrong. I've already fucking talked about it many times. But it's just the only reason why I brought that up is because it was identical to the argument that Train and I have had 1,000 times over, which is like, oh, if you banned one type of gambling, why aren't you banning all types of gambling? And the way I explained it to him back then, and I didn't mean that you're schizo or even Train is schizo, you kind of added that yourself. I don't know why. But my point was, if you can take down. If you think, like, let's say X thing is bad, right? Okay? And there's 100% of X thing. Let's say you're able to take down 75% of that X thing through your influence. If 25% of that X thing still remains, it's still bad, but it's less bad than 100% of the X thing. That's what we did here, and that's precisely why I'm saying, like, look, if there are new initiatives that are launching on Twitch, they should take care of that. That's really fucked up, and I'm glad you're bringing this up. I was completely oblivious to it.
Nobody cares about X thing unless I do X or Train does Y or I do Y or he does X. It's like nobody actually gives a fuck.
Now you do sound a lot like Train.
So nobody cares about the actual endeavors or the problems. People care about the people doing it. That is just inherently true, and you fucking know it. And you know it's true.
So here, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great example.
For that to be true, you think that we have a personal vendetta against you and Train, and we're just against everything that you guys do in particular?
No, I think the brokies got mad when they get their deals, and then they went against it, and everybody went with it, and they were like, guys, fuck Gamba.
Do you think me or Pokey? Do you think me and Pokey had deals?
We've already talked about the fact that, like, if we fucking wanted to, we could.
No,
don't you think we would be arguing that stake and kick are unrelated so that we can get a kick deal? But be like, no, I'm against crypto gambling, but kick is different. So we can suck up to them and get a deal. Like, would that not be fucking easy?
Okay.
I feel like it's harder to stick to your guns.
Okay.
I think it is. You get fucking punished for it endlessly.
You guys derailed
Felix,
entirely. What?
No. It's not derailed. You said like brokies are against you because they didn't get fucking deals, and it's not applicable to either of us. It's not applicable to either of us. And the only other person I have heard this from is Trainwrecks, who like thinks that we're out to get him. All the time.
Your tweet might have had 400,000 likes or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's you too. It's the rest of people. The argument still stands. The argument still stands that people just weaponized it. Yeah, it's just how it is. Like, what do you guys talking about?
Weaponize what?
This whole anti-Gamba crusade, guys. It's anti-Gamba. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. If people cared, actually,
it wasn't anti-Gamba. You think? You think it wasn't? It was just like a different reason.
It was legitimate, weird, pent-up jealousy that they used as a spear and everybody hop on the dick train to get it through. That is just flat out the truth, and anything else you're gonna say is completely irrelevant.
Okay,
I'm
gonna ask you
if you're
something.
talking
Why do you think
about
your
other
audience?
people, sure. But if you're talking about us, then say you're talking about us. Like, I'm not gonna speak for other people.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
wait. They are as relevant as you. That's because you say the line, and everybody repeats it. That those aren't together. Like, you guys understand the movement, the people behind it, the people that were out there, people that were commenting on it. You know for a fact that you're not the only driving force in this. Like, you didn't change the world out here. You're
Listen,
not like the fucking.
sure, I can imagine that there
you're
are
not a hero,
people
bro.
who
Like, chill
once
out.
they see
I
the
never
amount
said
of
that.
money that Kick is giving out, yeah, maybe they change their minds and they want, you know, they used to be against crypto gambling and now they're like, oh, but I want to kick it. Sure, I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care about them. If you
Yeah.
think that's us, say so, and we can argue against that.
I don't think he thinks that it's us. He's just saying that there are other people that are supportive of this endeavor that were hypocritical. But I don't know why you're bringing it up, because it's irrelevant in this point of. It's irrelevant in this conversation.
Yeah, listen, there's fakies everywhere. Sure.
Yeah.
What's that? And so,
Right. It just seems like whenever people make arguments and shit, I think there's a lot of people that shifted the argument and made things feel and sound different, and everybody always lets damage happen. And there's a lot of collateral damage in this whole saga, and nobody cares to debunk dog shit arguments when they're made if they makes them win. When it's the same with you guys. When you say something that is wrong, right, and you misspeak, and nobody corrects you because everybody's on your side, you don't go back and correct it because you cash in your win. You always cash in your win, even when it's wrong. Always.
But you haven't given me. Look, if we're both speculating about Kick's interest or Stake's interest in Kick, I've given you plenty of examples as to why it's not ever going to be, in my opinion, primarily as a standalone product that isn't there to basically drive traffic into Stake. I told you exactly why that is the case. You did not actually give me an effective counter argument or why you even believe that that will not be the case and how it can ever be done. How the infrastructure can be handled by Stake.
Okay.
Like that's my point. Because the thing that you're showing me right now, the thing that you're showing me right now is a perfect example of this. Let's say tomorrow, Kick.com and Stake.com's traffic share doesn't change, right? It's still 2.7% of a shared audience. Okay, let's say that's the case. That percentage doesn't change tomorrow, but Kick.com becomes the behemoth, the next Twitch, okay? The numbers in that 2.7% are going to be ginormous. And I believe that Stake is banking on that. Even with the metrics that you're showing me, you're not actually providing a reasonable counter argument to what I'm trying to say. Because the 2.7 of, wait, hold on, show it again. No, don't show me that right now. Let me look at the numbers real quick.
Sorry, move on. I was trying to.
I don't care. I don't care about what fucking like Summit's poker stream. Hold on. Stay on course. Right now, there is a shared unique visitor of 136,456 people, right? Those are the number of shared unique visitors. That number will 100x if they reach Twitch's size. If Kick becomes Twitch's size, that percentage will most likely stay the same. Actually, it probably will be a little bit smaller because let's say Stake's website is not going to grow. But even if that percentage goes down, the number of people in that shared audience is still going to increase. What that means is they're still going to have, this time, 1.3 million shared unique visitors that are going in there and going to Stake. And the difference between 136,000 and 1.3 million is why Stake is dumping all these funds into Kick to make it a dominant force in the live streaming sphere. That's my argument.
I just want to add, okay, no matter what percent shared users they have, it might look like a small percent, but the fact that Stake deems Kick a worthwhile investment goes to show that that percentage is enough for them to get a return. Okay? If it's 2%, 3%, 5%, it's enough. Those people are clearly spending enough that Stake says, yes, we should keep spending millions growing this platform.
Okay.
Is that...
Do you get what I'm saying, by the way, with the numbers that you showed me?
That's just basic business principles.
it's a very correlation causation argument. You've admitted that whether anything happens, you won't change your mind on it, so it doesn't matter. And you made the argument to ban
if you
Gamba,
present
which Twitch won't even do.
If you present me with new information, here, let's say,
like what?
Let's say that Stake actually purchased the entirety of like Azure's cloud hosting services, web hosting services. Okay. Let's say that that's what happened magically. This multi-$100 billion franchise was bought out by Stake tomorrow. And then you said, and Stake's ultimate goal is to basically completely remove themselves from the equation, give all of those servers to Kick, and they are not even remotely interested in like driving traffic back to their side. That would be a little bit more believable. Even then, it doesn't change the point that like, just like Amazon is interested in driving traffic to Amazon from Twitch, inevitably down the line, I still believe that Kick is going to drive traffic into Stake. That's why Amazon bought Twitch, and that's why Stake built Kick.
So you want Kick to do the things that Twitch won't do in order to squash the claim, pretty much. You're saying that you want them to do better to prove the same thing.
I want them to do better in general because I want them
Twitch
to actually be competitive in the marketplace.
Yeah, didn't Twitch at least ban unregulated gambling? If Kick did that, sure, I'd be shocked.
No. Stop. Okay. You're just galloping it. Don't say a claim that's false and then keep going. If I stop. No, not true. There's
elaborate.
Multiple websites that are still allowed that are all unregulated that are on a daily that garnish thousands and dozens of thousands of viewers on a daily basis. Nobody cares because I'm not the one and Train isn't the one doing it and gambling. And you know that it's true. It's true.
What?
It isn't a big dog
this
doing
doesn't
it.
address, this doesn't address the claims that
Hasan,
Pokey's
do you know
making.
if that's true?
What? No, it's all unregulated. I mean, look at my screen. Ready? I'll show you right now.
Okay, this doesn't address the claims that Pokey's making, number one. Number two, you keep talking about yourself, right? You keep talking about yourself and saying like, oh, it's only because of me that people care about it. There is an element of truth to what you're stating. Now, the reason for that is simple. For example, on this website, if I go down to the Just Chatting stream, to the bottom of the directory, there are people streaming porn right now, okay? There are people streaming illicit content right now, illegal content right now. The difference between a bottom of the barrel Andy or 100 viewer Andy even doing something like that versus you, the largest streamer on the platform doing it, is of course going to be additionally problematic if people have an issue with it. So I don't know why you think that this is like a major own as far as like you singling yourself out. Of course, the reason why we don't know that like fucking Blaze exists or whatever is partially because Twitch has made assurances that it's fucking illegal. That it's illegal to do crypto gambling, unregulated crypto gambling on the fucking website. But having said that, Twitch's terms of service dictates that porn is not allowed on the website. Twitch's terms of service dictates that you can't have like a fake Elon Musk cryptocurrency rug pull live stream on the website that is botted to shit. And yet for some reason, these things keep happening.
Can I please say two things? Please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, two things. One, I would be very impressed if Stake took the exact same stance as Twitch, which is just prohibiting streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed either in the US or other jurisdictions. If they did that, I would believe that they care more about streaming than they do about the profits that they would get from gambling. Okay, one. And two, okay, you said the only reason people cared back then is because me and Trainwrecks did it. People don't care because it's you and Trainwrecks. You guys just bring along these massive audiences, which brought more spotlight to an issue, made it a larger issue, and then people started caring about it. We're not following you guys as individuals trying to get angry about things that you do. It's about the audience that you bring to these things. Don't be mad that you're popular.
Nobody said this shit. Even the popular ones. You're not. Sorry to say. You and Hasan aren't that cool with your anti-Gamba take, okay? The main drive that caused the wave initially is somebody who didn't get a deal, who caused that wave, and he just hopped on it to look good. That's the only reason.
Who didn't get a deal?
You guys didn't say shit initially for the longest time until Miz did, and you hopped on
Because
their on
I
his
had
cock.
no idea that it was like this big of a deal. Once it got into the spotlight, I made my stance very clear.
That's just goalpost. You're just goalposting at that point. You're
Oh
just
my
moving the
god,
goalpost.
I can't believe you think there's more to it than like, hey, it just wasn't that big of a deal. And then a bunch of big streamers started either doing it or talking about it, and then it was a big deal.
It wasn't one. It wasn't some guys, or it was one guy. It was one guy who had his own.
What's the issue with that? That's just how something was brought to light.
He has his own motives to do it, which is called weaponizing, which will always use against me when I don't fit their narratives. They're weaponizing
If
something.
you think Miz has a vendetta against you
and
and
you
Train,
guys hopped on the cock. That's what happened. That's not, literally, it's not,
I promise you, no one's trying to hop on Miz's cock.
But you guys did.
Wait, what? No, I definitely, I love hopping on Miss Gibbs' cock. What happened? I was peeing.
I promise you, it's not that deep. Maybe Miz brought it up because he has, something.
You know what's really funny about this?
Know.
It's ahistoric because myself and Ethan had this debate, I'm pretty sure, ever before Miskiff literally even got a fucking stake or crypto gambling sponsorship.
Ethan,
you and I
had
this conversation with Train years ago.
This really doesn't look like it.
Old fossil guy. Holy fuck. This fucking balder took a loot box scam from his viewers, which is inherently worse. Fucking bald Andy. And
Who's that? Who's he talking about?
Listen,
I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
Too far gone.
Balder. Yep. And have you ever brought that up? Have you ever talked about it? Have you ever debated about it? I'm sure.
Wait, Ethan is literally the least bald motherfucker on the planet. What are you talking about? He's like famously has a. Are you mistaking him for someone else? His hairline is literally like down to his fucking eyebrows.
I don't give a fuck. He has white hair. The man is 60.
Wait, okay, that's a different. Okay, so that's a different argument. So I don't know what Ethan did. I don't know what you're talking about. What is it? He did like a loot box or something. What?
I'm pretty sure. Chat, give me the files on that.
Oh, so you're not sure?
I'm pretty sure. I checked last time, but it's
Wait,
not.
did you fucking just say that this dude did some shit that I didn't even know about? You called him bald, and then you said he has white hair. Like I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
Bro. Listen, you brought up Ethan. I'm just saying it's because you use him as an example because he's not clean on that department.
Okay, I agree. If he did some like gambling shit, then I think it's fucked up that he did that. Good thing he's not doing it any longer. I think. I don't know.
Shit, I like that. Look at that. You can pay money. It opens up some chest, whatever, and it has his face on it. Look at that. Ethan, is that your boy? Is that him? Is that your boy over there?
Well, you're comparing all sorts of like chess and gambling
Brother.
and this and that to the worst of the worst.
I don't know why you think this is a
crypto
like. What do you mean?
unregulated.
Okay, that's bad
because
and wrong.
You bring it. Okay, and have you talked about it? It seems like you don't care because it's your friend, but it seems like you care back in the days because it's for virtue.
No, I have never talked about it because I had no fucking idea. Felix, why the fuck would I? It's a fucking mobile game loot box from 4 years ago. How the fuck am I supposed to know every single thing that this man has done? He's also said the N-word with a hard R, and he very openly has apologized for it multiple fucking times. It's like bringing that shit up and being like, whoa, remember when he said the N-word with a hard R? Well, that's really fucked up that you're working with him. It's like, yeah, I know that. I know that, and he's addressed it.
And then that would like bringing up Jolt coin from fucking Trent from way back when, right? That would be the same type of behavior, right?
Bro, I don't even know what the fuck Jolt coin is either. It's like some shit that Miski brought up about Train, no?
Okay, so now it's valid. The one's not valid.
So what aboutism is going really far?
Dude,
I'm just saying it's a lot of pick and choose.
Okay. I wasn't saying you're train washed or you're train posting beforehand. I was saying your arguments resemble Trains. Now I'm saying it. You're fucking train washed, brother. Who the fuck talked about Jolt coin or Miskiff or any number of things? Now I'm saying it. You're fucking, you are schizo.
Okay,
you're behaving schizo as fuck right now.
You guys care about things based on what it looks like and what you gain out of it. And that's just how it is. It seems like the care
What is going on? Bro, you're fighting fucking shadows. You're fighting demons in your head right now. What the fuck?
What are you talking about? I'm just saying, I mean, your focus shifts based on who is doing it, and I think that's inherently bad. I don't think it's a good maneuver.
I don't think that's true.
You're right.
I think
I should go
if
back.
the same issues were brought to him or me, no matter who's doing it, we would be against it. Maybe it would only come to our attention because someone as large and prominent as you is doing it, but that doesn't make it personal or different for different people.
Okay,
Dude. Dude,
Uh,
like if
I
said
like you, X.
that's not what he looks like.
I have
That's a
nothing
meme,
against
brother.
you personally. Maybe other people do, but that ain't me.
That's not what he looks like.
Sure, it's a meme because on fucking copium. That's so funny.
Motherfucker, you're gonna make your audience actually believe that. That's so funny. Okay. Yeah, I can't speak on what Ethan has done in the past because I truly had no idea. I'm sure if I were to ask him, he might have addressed it. He might not have a problem with it. You know what I mean? These are all things I can't speak on because I was unfamiliar with this until you just brought it up. And I don't know why you think it's an own overall.
Because you brought Ethan like some sort of like sword or something like that. Like what? Did you
No,
bring up Ethan in the
because
first
no,
place?
I didn't. Ethan is irrelevant in this conversation. I brought him up because to say you, me, Trainwrecks, and Ethan Klein had this fucking argument about crypto gambling literally years before Miskiff ever joined the fray, before Miskiff ever got in the conversation. That was just to show you that the timeline in your head is wrong, that I have been consistently speaking out against this sort of thing way before Miskiff ever joined. That's the only reason why I brought up Ethan to the conversation.
Yeah, I just wish that see.
No, there was two combos before Miskiff got, I think. It was when Aiden.
Yeah, true.
There was two different conversations.
Was it? Because it seems to me like his whole argument was like, oh, dude, it's the children this, it's for the children that, children this, and his game looks like it's just made for children. That's their main appeal. So I think it's kind of rich, but it is what it is.
Okay, but again, you should take that up with Ethan. I think he would love to have you on the stream, probably, if you wanna talk to him about that.
Ethan is a snake. He's just very snake.
Wait,
I like
you
his
can't
scam.
just
Aren't we
say
all?
that. You can't just, oh, come on. You can't just like be like, oh, he's a snake. I'm not going to do it. Like, you've gotten much better at debating. You've gotten much better at debating over the years that I've known you. You should debate him on it.
Okay. I think Ethan will quite literally cook me every like 2 weeks when he gets bored. Literally. He'll say something sly or some dog shit. He does. I would like to like Ethan, but he's just like you. He can't hold himself back from saying some dumb shit sometimes. And he knows he's doing it out of bad faith. And you know he's a bad faith actor. And you know that. Don't deny it.
I don't think he's a bad faith actor. I disagree with that. The common shared perspective online, especially from like people that don't like me and don't like Ethan, is that yes, he is bad faith, but I don't agree with that.
Yeah, well, I do think that based on the perspective and the movement behind, you guys justify or not justify sometimes a behavior and some things that you guys do overall. If you have the right opinion, you have more leeway to do dumb shit compared to if you're on the other side, which I think is.
I definitely disagree with that because I have no fucking leeway. How can you say that when I believe what I'm advocating for is correct? I try to live by those principles as best as I can within the current restrictive confines of existing under the society that we live under. And yet I get fucking yelled at for buying a house. You've been inside that house. As far as like other streamers and shit, that house is nothing. And yet it's still used. People still, including Train, speaking of bad faith, Trainwrecks is the #1 bad faith, Andy. He keeps saying like, oh, develop systems. We've had a conversation where I've described all this stuff to him, and yet he still turns around and goes on a fucking phone conversation with like the owner of Kick, and they're over there talking with like Travis Scott's manager about how I'm like, I live rent-free in their fucking minds for some goddamn reason. They're like supposed to be doing like a site-wide announcement or some shit. And even then they're talking about how I'm a fucking fake socialist or whatever. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. That shit is unironically bad faith, especially because I've literally sat him down and walked him step by step over over this point of contention, supposedly, and he just fucking wiped it out of his mind for some reason. Now, having said that, the reason why I brought this up is because you said if you're on the right side of the conversation, if you're advocating for your principles, you have a lot more leeway to fuck up. That's not true.
Yeah, I think sometimes you'll if you're on the right side, you're kind of you let more.
I think you're
like
cooked.
dog shit happen. You think I'm cooked?
No, I think you're cooked if you're on the right side of a conversation, because a lot of people on the internet think that authenticity can only be explained and showed through being like edgy or fucking saying unhinged shit. People, I think, genuinely look at others who are being edgy and go, "Oh, that guy's real. He's being real." When you fucking advocate for certain principles that you believe in, they go, "That can't be real. He must be virtue signaling." No one fucking feels this way in reality. They're just trying to be nice.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't even think that is true.
All right. These discussions, even though it went all right, it went a little bit overboard. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I think we're at an impasse. No.
Yeah, I gotta go do some IRL streams too. I gotta go fucking touch some Japanese grass.
Man, I gotta
Lovely
go
chatting with you both. Wish you the best in life.
Likewise. Love,
and all things.
Take care. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye everyone.
See you later, man. Bye.
My computer is fucking broken, dude. I don't know what's happening. The fact that we did Japan Debate 2 Electric Boogaloo, I mean, this is content. You're crazy. You know, what am I going to do? Avoid this? Like, this is, one, it's an issue that I do have a genuine belief in. And two, not only do I have a genuine perspective on this, XQC was like watching my VOD and yelling at me, so I wanted to address it yesterday regardless. So this was a good opportunity to do so.
I feel like it's a non-winnable battle. I think I've got my answers. Last time I said, I think some of these people will never change their opinion, regardless of what's in front of them. And I think that my conclusion is that I have to not take these debates because it doesn't matter what is brought up, it will not change anybody's opinion.
If the Britney analogy didn't do it, nothing will. Yeah, I thought that would have banged, honestly. I'm surprised that people didn't like that one. I came up with that on the fucking fly, too. The Britney Spears analogy.
Thoughts about that?
I thought that was a fucking A1 primo analogy, I'll be honest. Like, you're driving foot traffic. There's also some other stuff. I think it always looks bad if we're 2 against 1. You know what I mean? People are going to say 2v1 no matter what happens. So there's that angle, which isn't good. You know what I mean? But ultimately, it is what it is. Bro, he was literally asking you how he can win the argument. He wasn't invested in the interested in the truth, fully locked in. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't really care about like Felix winning the argument or losing the argument. I care more about some members in his audience, at least, like you know, I don't know, hearing a different perspective. And don't fucking despise me. You know what I mean? Oh, what the fuck is this? Why is Kaya cannot be involved in? All right, I'm done. Leave Kai alone. I've never watched a stream before, and I've enjoyed this big time. Yeah. We've had XQC and I've had way bigger fucking arguments than this in the past, like way fucking bigger. So I don't think this is that big of a deal. Meanwhile, Aiden asks his chat if they would rather shoot Pokey or Hasan. Yeah. Oh, the other counter to the cross traffic is the VPN, right? You don't need a VPN to access stake, or you don't need a VPN to access Kick, but you need a VPN to access stake. And I think that probably changes the cross pollination a little bit. Like there's probably a larger number or larger percentage, but it ultimately doesn't matter. Because my argument still stands. Even if it was literally 2.7%, it's still a gigantic fucking driver of traffic. So that's what it is. Like, people, especially those with groupies, live in a weird bubble in their own reality. Anyway, Stake.us, you don't need a VPN. Like, even you said get the bag originally when X took the deal. Yeah. The fact that so many of us know stake.com exists is return on investment for them. I agree. Aiden is turned into a D-level Batman villain. Yeah, he spends a lot of his fucking time doing, doing that. Hold on, let me text the fucking group chat. Are we ready, boys? It's obvious. Literally nothing you're saying is reaching his ears, let alone his brain. It's not. When I have these conversations, it's never just... When I have these conversations, it's never just about me having this conversation directly with XQC. Ultimately, XQC got paid $100 million. So I don't think he's going to change his position, which is, it is what it is. I'm having this conversation specifically, usually, to clear my fucking name. Because he's also saying that, he's saying that, I'm faking it or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Those are the reasons. XQ's chat agree with you reluctantly, by the way? Okay. Will Neff just texted me. He said he's at the gym. I'll wait for him to get back, and then we'll go do some IRL shit. Okay. That crossover screenshot are only available to the owners of Stake and Kick. Why do they have a graph set up in Google Analytics to track down conversion if they don't care about it? It's to argue against it, I think. That is really interesting. I wonder why they had that lined up. Do they have it with random websites that they have nothing to do with? Probably not. I didn't even think about that on the fly. Okay. New Carl Barks edit. I think that's bullshit for the record. I've heard you literally defend sweatshops against Moist Critical, so I don't know what your take is on that matter, but...
Sweatshops go hard.
He did. He has said that. Train is mad at X for not pulling him in and try to tell you off. Bro, I don't know why fucking Trainwrecks thinks he's going to do a better job this time around than last time him and I had a conversation. Like, why is he... What goes on in this man's mind that he's like, no, this time it's going to be different. You fucked up. You fucked up. Why didn't you do that? Wait, is XQC done? Oh my God. Did we just get fucking farmed? Did we just get fucking farmed to 88,000 concurrent viewers on Felix's stream so that he could just go live on Kick and talk to fucking Train? Oh, that is, oh God, it's so fucking, yeah. I mean, look, it's mutually beneficial for me too. I'm not gonna fucking lie, but God damn, dude, this shit is so. Oh yeah. Every time this kind of stuff happens, it's just fucking hell. Don't worry, you farmed him because you convinced his audience. I don't think I fucking did. Let's be real. Aye. That's funny. Azan is a socialist working for Amazon Omegalol at HasanAbi. Hey, baby. Go listen to it. Train is going to explain his goals on Kick and disprove your speculation. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. We'll watch it later. Get the fuck out of here. You think I'm going to watch that shit live? You're out of your mind. Don't argue with Train. He will train wash you. No, I am not susceptible to train washing. He has tried, okay? It doesn't work. Hey, why is this Kick.com job application focusing on player lifecycle and player value? Easy Go's a well-established tech startup. We pride ourselves on being early adopters, progressive in our approach, and adaptable to ever-changing technology landscape. Our brands include Stake.com, Kick.com, and Twist Gaming, with more in the pipeline. Our core focus in the online gambling space is building well-designed casino games, crypto platforms, and sportsbooks, and we have launched additional brands to support this. Huh. Also this, Kick Gaming's vision is to be able to leading content provider in the gambling industry. From Melbourne, workforce Australia. Fucking hell, mate. Well, I mean, the reason why this stuff is not that big of a deal. The reason why this stuff is not that big of a deal is like, it's not news to me. Like, yes, I will unwind an argument and describe it with the most basic terms I can in order to get XQC to understand what I'm saying. But that doesn't fucking mean that, like, I'm shocked by this. Like, this is not additional evidence. He already said it wasn't enough evidence that, like, it's owned by the motherfucking guys. Like, he doesn't think that that's enough. If a guy says, if someone says, I don't care that Stake entirely owns and funds Kick, it's not enough to say that, like, they actually care about a return on investment by, like, driving traffic to Stake. If you say that, at that point, like, this is not going to fucking change the argument. You know what I mean? This is clear to everybody but X, it seems. Yeah, I think it's clear to him too. I don't think it's like, I believe in the roadmap. I stand in Eddie's side. Train is my pastor. I believe in Stake, the Alpha and Omega. He's the son. Kick, save us from Amazon. Train is literally grooming him against you right now, Lamau. Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm currently waiting. You now realize that months ago when XQ was begging you to talk to Train, it was bait. I mean, it works. It doesn't work against me. These sorts of conversations are not working against me, for the record. Like, I don't know why you guys are so... I don't know why you think that that is not like it's not a bad thing for me to have these sorts of combos, for the record. Nah, most of the chat knows he's being schizo. It's just cool to shit on Hasan. Chat thinks XQC is actually cooking. I think the irony is that most people don't want to fucking rock the boat and wouldn't even be like I wouldn't even be talking about this shit because there's so much other shit to talk about. If XQC wasn't farming this as a point of contention to, like, you know, drum up drama audiences, because that's the fucking reality. Like, no one would even he'd be fucking sitting pretty with $100 million in his bank account. But like, he wants to also, he like thrives on numbers. He like thrives on drama. So he like creates a fucking, creates a conversation and like says a bunch of stuff, gets all the fucking simps involved on my side and his side. And then we have this fucking matchup, and then he goes over to kick and drives the audience there. Like, that's partially it. You know what I mean? And we fell for it. No, I didn't fall for it necessarily. Like, guys, come on, don't be fucking silly. It's like, every time I'm able to appear in front of XQ's audience that has been so conditioned against me in a favorable light, I see that as a benefit. It's mutually beneficial. Anyway, I haven't watched much of Pokey, but she was cooking. Maybe. Ocean Gate stuff. Chat doesn't realize this black mold brain rot is nothing for training XQC. They thrive on this. XQC literally gets off to saying dumb shit and then having his chat call him schizo for it. Yeah, because half of his chat roasting him still means there's 40,000 people in there roasting him and he has 80,000 viewers. That's the point. Like, he is a very good content creator. For him, I think this is just a way to fucking keep up eyeballs. Like, there's a reason why he's been number one. There's a reason why they gave him $100 million. You know what I mean? A lot of people certainly look at him eating his fucking toenails and forget that part of it. Like, he has content skull. He really wants people to still like him too. He wants to be the guy with a kickback and also be like the same exact thing Train wants. Both of them have so much money that of course they're just obsessed over what they can't have. No, I think a lot of people still do like him. It's also good to mention how after this, Pokey will get the most hate because she's a woman on top of being on this side of gambling and kick argument. Yeah. For sure. Look, yeah, at least it gives me an opportunity to talk on his fucking platform, okay? Like, instead of just like talking shit and saying I suck or whatever. Ethan being bald shows how he has been misfed info and continues to use his chat as a secondary source of info. Yeah, for sure. But I don't care. I can duke it out with him plus his chat. It's not a problem. Did you see Targ defending you to his chat the other day?
For a little bit, as usual.
Wait, why are you guys spamming what?
This time we're looking at
why are you guys spamming Ellis? Chill.
Honestly, he was the talk of the town, you know, in America's leading.
I don't know why fucking Targ's audience, I guess his like larger Valo audience doesn't understand that we're like friends. You know what I mean? Like Like he stayed with me for a fucking week and shit. Like it's weird. But I guess they're gamers. They don't really understand the concept of friendship.
Up to this event, obviously, because the world wanted to know whether or not he was going to be able to
Bruh,
participate.
don't weird Chan.
But now that he's here, it's been really
Be
nice.
nice to
I'm
my
sure
friends,
he's
please.
Happy with it too, that he can kind of go into the background.
Let's keep
while the
politics
rest of his
to
team,
politics.
Achilleos, steps up.
Wait,
and
bro,
meets
is
the
trolling or
moment,
what?
And then Demon One can kind of just do Demon One things.
And that's the thing. And what we were talking about during the pre-show is that
It sounds cool.
you can highlight any player on this roster because it is
He's
no
macho.
longer Demon
Just
One.
He let me crash at his house
He
for like
has
a
those
week.
times where yes, it is Demon
And his
One, go
hospitality
kill, but
was
even
A1.
then, there are
He's
so
chill as
many
hell.
backups
But, yeah.
to still find
I mean,
success here.
I respect that, dude. A lot of content creators don't want to fucking put their name out there like that because they see like the tide shifting, or they see like a lot of people fucking engagement farming off of my ass, and you know they don't fucking address it. So I always respect it when a content creator goes, when a content creator will straight up be like, no, fuck you, that's my friend. I do it all the goddamn time for people that I think is unjustifiably being persecuted. But it's never my expectation that others will do it for me. You know what I mean?
See the pop-ups from Busio, from Calm.
I feel like he's a good
it doesn't
dude,
matter.
so.
They have so much
Detour a
Yeah,
little
Targ
bit.
is a good dude. He's a stand-up guy. That's the CSGO major winner, baby. That's the difference. That's the CSGO major winner difference, dude. Not everybody has that. All right, let's talk about Hunter Biden. Then we'll talk about fucking Smosh and Tfue and the like while I wait for